Hello crypto cats, my name is Tom and I am the crypto investor, and it's time for our weekly market roundup, and we start of course with the heat map, and it is green. Look at it, it's beautiful. We have Ethereum up 14.2%, Bitcoin up 6.6%, most alts up around 15 to 20% or so, some even more than that. AXS up 174%. Hopefully some of you bought that last week on the back of the video which I made on that one. Wonderful to see, and maybe we have hit a bottom and we are moving up. Let's look at more of this and discuss. This roundup really is, the 20 hours of knowledge that I've collected from the week that I wanted to share with you in this bite-sized 20-minute video or so. So if you do find any value in what I'm putting out here, please do smash the like button, please do subscribe, and please hit the notification bell to get these videos as they drop. All right, let's look at our crypto bubbles, and you can see here's Axie Infinity flying. What an extraordinary week, and we'll go into a little bit about why that is the case in a minute. Telcoin up 60%, Sushi with a nice week up 30% as well. Overall, mostly looking very much green. There's one little red number hiding behind this bubble head here, which is 4chain Rune, which has been hacked for the second time in as many weeks. $8 million taken by a white hat hacker who he said he could have taken 100 million or so, but he only took 8 just to teach them a bit of a lesson, told them some of the mistakes they were making in their security. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if 4chain, which is a wonderful product and an awesome team, can bounce back from that second hack. The price has obviously taken a bit of a hammering. So I mentioned Axie Infinity. This has climbed the charts very rapidly now up to the, I think it's like 35th, 40th in market cap. And this is why, if you go to tokenterminal.com, you can see the revenues that these coins are generating. And something stands out a bit here. This mental big green candle, $108 million of revenue from Axie Infinity, eclipsing everything else, really. The whole of DeFi can't keep up with just this one token right now. Unbelievable. And that's, if we look at that on the 7-day, it is much the same story. It has been absolutely flying of late. And here we go. Just in the last 7 days, it's done 30 million or so. And what I like to look at, one of the metrics, is the PE ratio to work out whether something is still good value. And if we divide the revenue by the market cap, you can see that we get still a very low number of 6.7. So this tells us that it's still the lowest PE ratio of all of these as well. No, Aave 84 just shows us that maybe it's still a really excellent investment. Of course, it's still new. Of course, we've only had a few months where it has achieved these revenues, rather than many of these which has sustained it for a lot longer period. But it really caught my eye, catching a lot of people's eye, and continuing to climb at an incredible pace. All right, lots of news pieces to get on with. Just that weekly reminder that EIP 1559 is just 11 days away now. On the 4th of August, the burn will begin for Ethereum. And just to kind of show you what this means as well, we need to look at gas. So when this rolls out and gas, so how busy the network is over 150 GUI, then that will actually mean that Ethereum is deflationary. If it's that busy, we'll have so much burn that it will exceed the number of new blocks being created. Now, once ETH 2.0 rolls out in Q1 next year, then that number drops from 150 that needs to achieve deflation down to 15. And you can see right now on this quiet week, we have the gas at 17. So it would mean that we were already a busy enough network to have deflationary Ethereum once 2.0 rolls out. So just to give you that example, it's hard to underestimate just how big a deal this is to the tokenomics of Ethereum. It's unbelievable. All right, quick look at the ratio, gang. We can see that Ethereum is coming up to 40% of the market cap of Bitcoin. You'll notice an Ethiopian flag here. This is a reference to Jack Dorsey of Twitter, who changed the hashtag ETH to have the Ethiopian flag after it to troll the Ethereum maxis of us. So well done, Jack. But it's there's a lot of chatter on Twitter around that. Check it out. All right, this is a tweet from Ryan Watkins showing that the number of transactions on Ethereum is up 65% quarter on quarter and 1,500% year on year. This means that Ethereum is set to settle on 8 trillion transactions in 2021. Incredible numbers, and it only set to rise. Just unbelievable. What do we have here? And this is why it is set to rise. It's because of this network of. You can see that you've got demand for Ethereum for NFTs, for DeFi, for the metaverse, and for DAOs. And this isn't even including stable coins, which probably is using as much as half of this alone. The transactions that we make using Ethereum to run payments in stable coins. Just the beginning. We're probably at a few percent of what that will represent in the future. And for me, I think we're going to see a lot of headwinds, to be honest, in DeFi. I think we've got some really tough regulatory hurdles to jump. But where we will likely see a lot of growth, and perhaps under the radar growth, is coming from metaverse and NFTs. If you think of Axie Infinity, for example, come back to it already, haven't I? But this is something that's just driving the use case for Ethereum really rapidly, creating hundreds of thousands of new users. And they don't even, the governments aren't going to be concerned about this. They don't see that as a threat. But it's allowing the use of Ethereum to infiltrate globally further and further around the world. It's really helping to push it out there. I'll come to my kind of concerns around regulation in a second. But yeah, it's this network effect which just makes the use case for Ethereum so strong. Well, the bullish sentiment, and this as well. If you look at the number of developers using and growing on Ethereum, that when you're investing, you want a moat, you want a competitive advantage, and that for me looks like a fairly insurmountable moat. Here you've got Cosmos and Bitcoin and Tezos and Polkadot. And here you've got Ethereum. It's just so far ahead. It's ridiculous. Okay, so this just dropped about 6 hours ago. A little concerning that Uniswap are limiting access to some tokens. And, probably for the greater good, but this is not what you expect from a decentralized exchange. The whole point of decentralized is that there shouldn't be a central force making these decisions, and it also begs the question, what's the point in their governance token? So I wouldn't be surprised if you see a fair bit of backlash on this. I wouldn't be surprised if Uniswap's price does sink a little bit on the back of this. But yeah, quite concerning that the team at the center of Uniswap are choosing to remove some coins there. What do we have next? So this is sorare.com. It's basically a fantasy football kind of NFT collector's cards. You'll have 100,000 Messi cards and ex-Ronaldo cards, and people will buy and sell and exchange these. But also I think it's got some gamification where you can, the better they play, the more that you earn, or something like that. Anyway, this is just to show you how different this bear crab market is to 2017. They raised another $500 million in funding this week. They're valued at $3.8 billion, which makes them a sizable business already, and most people haven't even heard of them, and they're hardly even live. It just shows the potential value of this NFT space. It's going to be hundreds of billions, and what's the payment rails it uses? Yep, it's Ethereum. This is another cool thing. The bankless DAO has created the BED token. If you are just looking for one, or your friends are looking for one simple way to get a really good exposure to crypto in the simplest way, just dollar cost average into BED. This is a third Bitcoin, a third Ethereum, and a third DPI index, which is DeFi, all of these different coins. And it's just a wonderful way of getting a broad exposure to the best areas of crypto in one go. I promise you that if you have friends who are chasing moonshots and meme coins, and friends who just invest in this and dollar cost average to this, I'm pretty confident those who are going for the BED option will win. This is really cool. You can buy it on Uniswap or a dApp of your choice, probably SushiSwap as well. Okay, and just to hit you with a bit of FUD, because, I always have my hopium hat on and it's important that we have some balance to these videos. But this is Jake Chawinski, who is one of the most, or if not the most trusted understanders of the regulatory space. And he says, I don't have much hopium for you. It is how it looks right now, pretty grim. He hears the whispers going on in the Senate. Next Tuesday, the Senate will have their hearing entitled Cryptocurrencies. What are they good for? We don't have much backers in this space. Education is poor in this space. And the SEC have a deadline on Wednesday, the 28th, to put forth some regulation, I believe. So I wouldn't be surprised if, despite this wonderful breakout we're seeing now, that we do have some regulatory FUD coming our way. And we've seen it starting to begin. Let's just jump to this. I haven't got it here, but you may have seen that BlockFi have been hit with some regulation in New Jersey. That has now spread to Vermont. Where is it? Here we go, free states. And I mean, what's incredible is that they were referring it as DeFi, saying that it is decentralized. Of course, BlockFi is not. But they're in the same way that Binance is in the crosshairs in Europe, BlockFi is in the crosshairs in the United States. And it'd be interesting to see how this. So here we go: Alabama, Texas, New Jersey, and I believe Vermont as well are all looking to prevent people from paying into BlockFi. So there is crackdowns beginning to happen in this space. This was just a tweet from me. If you follow me, T Williams B, I sometimes say things that are worth reading. For me, Ethereum is just a very clear investment. It's an increasingly scarce asset. We know that we've got the burn coming. We know that it has an ever-increasing use case. We just looked at NFTs and DeFi and the metaverse and such and DAOs. That's just what's been invented. This is a sandbox where we've probably only created a few % of the possible applications using it. And it's just a broad universe of possibility. It's quite extraordinary what can be achieved on it. And this is fueling an ever-increasing demand. As I said, transactions on stablecoins and such. And with that ever-broadening developer moat against it, against alternative blockchains. So just all the stars are aligned, in my opinion. We have the triple halving effectively coming up. I've never had more conviction in Ethereum. Regulation may slow us down, but it will never stop it. It is inevitable. And, you could even ban it outright in America. It doesn't matter. You squeeze the balloon here, the air pops over here. The incentive to non-G7 countries to adopt crypto is enormous. Think of someone, another country that offers to provide that hotbed for innovation in crypto. They would just seek untold riches for doing so. So, they can slow it down, but they can't stop it. Okay, and finally, 60% of uber-rich family offices considering crypto or own it already. So 15% or own it, and a further 45% are considering it. And this doesn't sound that exciting until you realise these family offices are not poor. These are family offices with 1 billion to 5 billion of assets, and they are looking at this. There's increasingly concerns about inflation, and so the bullish sentiment really is not going away. It is very much still out there. Okay, let's jump into the charts. Let's start, of course, with the coin of coins, the one that represents 46% of the total market cap, and that is Bitcoin. You can see that, once my chart loads, there we go, we were in that wedge pattern, then we've been in this channel pattern, and I said on my midweek video on Wednesday that we needed to break above here, and we got the break. We have now broken out, and Bitcoin is on the up. So we may well, what I did was I cloned this resistance line, and it aligns up perfectly with this one. This was I got this from Jordan from Conquer Trading and Investing. I'm not claiming it's my own charting work. And then you see these further clones here. I expect what we'll do is we'll come up and we'll hit our head on this one. So that will come in around 35, 36,000 or so. So what I'm going to do is set an alert there. I have a very lightly leveraged position on. If you're not an experienced investor, please do not use any leverage. And that's where I will be removing my lightly leveraged position. So, we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll come back down, create a lower high, a higher low, and then start continuing our way up. I think without regulation concerns, we really do start to work our way back up here to 42,000. This, for me, I haven't even talked about the B word. So we had the B word conference, of course, with Jack Dorsey, Cathie Wood, and Elon Musk. And for me, that was the catalyst for this move. They did a wonderful job of basically putting to bed many of the myths and dispelling the myths in crypto about criminal use and energy use and such. And also we got the news, of course, that Elon owns obviously Bitcoin and obviously Doge, but he also owns Ethereum, which is the first time we've learned that, which was very nice to hear. And also that not just that Tesla have not sold any of their Bitcoin, but also SpaceX have Bitcoin on their books. So that was another nice nugget to hear from that man, Elon, who has so much power in this space. So that, for me, potentially was the catalyst that we needed, and we are bouncing and continue to bounce, and it's looking increasingly bullish. This is, we're not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination, but the biggest part of the repair, really, for me, since this whole breakdown has begun, this is the most I've felt confident. So really, really nice to see. And if we look at Ethereum, we actually have an even more bullish structure forming. So for anyone who is a trader, they will know the importance of, I believe it's a triple support or a triple bottom, and you have a very clear one. What you're looking for, in fact, I will substantiate this with a quote from Investopedia. So there should be an existing downtrend, check. There should be free lows roughly or equal in price, check. And there should be a volume that is descending, check. You could draw a perfect line there. So this is a very, very, very high conviction reversal pattern when you get this. And I think for me, that's what that looks like. I might do a video just about this because that looks pretty conclusive from where I'm sitting. So I think we move here now to 2,400. I can't see us stopping before then. And that's where we're going to find our next resistance. And let's see, maybe then we come back down, put in a higher low and start our ascent towards 2,900. Looking good. It's looking good. Looking at the ratio between Ethereum and Bitcoin, and we have a very clear wedge forming here. What was very nice to see is that we got a higher low. So this was the low that was put in, and we got a higher low, which is a very bullish sign. And we'll see now if we can put in a higher high above this one. Likely we'll hit our head here, and maybe we'll come back down. And I can tell you for free that as long as we're not in a bearish market, that Ethereum will break this wedge and it will make a move all the way straight to 50% market cap. It's, yeah, unless there's a big regulatory news catalyst, this looks like a formality to me. I can't see that not happening. So, not financial advice, I'm just a guy on the internet, but that's how I see this playing out. Looking at Bitcoin shorts, they have dropped now down to almost record numbers. So I wouldn't say that there is a short squeeze happening because they have been liquidated already, hence the move that we have seen. But that is nice to see. Looking at Bitcoin dominance, it hasn't dropped quite as much as you would expect. It is dropping, but not at any great pace right now. I think, there's still fear in the market. So, what you do is it's that champagne pyramid that you get at weddings. You pour the capital into Bitcoin and then Ethereum, and then it trickles down. And only with that trickling down into alts will we really see the Bitcoin dominance drop further. Of course, this is still pretty low compared to a bear market. But yeah, it's just starting to come off a little bit. Ethereum dominance continuing to rise up to 18.4%, very correlated to its Bitcoin ratio. The big line in the sand is up here at 20%. And, we've only been above there at the peak of the 2017 ICO Cambrian explosion. So if we get above there and start making solid moves above 20%, that would be pretty historic for Ethereum. And I believe it will happen. Looking at DeFi, looking at DPI index, it's pretty lackluster. This is, of course, versus Ethereum. So Ethereum is obviously on the up, but yeah, DeFi is certainly not outstripping Ethereum. And as I said, if if there's one place that regulation is going to hit hard and first, it's going to be DeFi. So it's going to be a bumpy road. It's where we have the maximum return to be found long term, but it's also where we will see the most resistance from the establishment. Governments aren't going to give up the control of money quick and easy, are they? And nor is the banking cartels. So don't expect, wars have been fought for millennia over this. They're not just going to roll over and say, you have it. So there we go. And then finally looking at the total market cap, and you can see that we're up to $1.38 trillion, looking a bit healthier, still plenty of repair to be done. But overall, we are starting, you could say, almost make a case for that triple bottom here on the dominance. All right, that's it for now. I hope you found this useful. Thank you for staying to the end, you loyal crypto cat. Please do share it with your mates, and please do like and subscribe. We're up to 1,000 subscribers now. And yeah, let's hope for more. Let's hope for another green week in the markets, and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.